Blessings of the Eight Divines upon you. How may I help? You look troubled. Have you come seeking guidance? Those who worship at the shrines will sometimes receive boons from the gods themselves. The nature of the favors varies per deity. Please, feel free to worship at any or all of the shrines. Ah, yes. That once held the shrine to Talos. But the worship of Talos was banned by the White Gold Concordat some time ago. It's the peace treaty that ended the war with the elves of the Admeri Dominion. The Dominion recognized the heresy of proclaiming Talos a god. Talos was a great man, and a great emperor, but that does not make him a god. No matter how much the Stormcloaks may wish it were so. No, I'm sorry. I've never even heard that name before. But the Honorable always carry the Blessing of the Eight. The gods know what you need. The strong and honorable always carry the Blessing of the Eight. You're right, of course. I'm not sure what you think you'll find there, but you're welcome to have a look. Yes? The strong and honorable always carry the Blessing of the Eight.
Blessings to you. The divines are listening.
Remind us of our place when we forget.
Let us walk in the steps
Feel free to take a seat or pray at the shrines. We appreciate worship in all its forms.
As High Priest of the Eight Divines, I bid you welcome.
Yes? Blessings of the Eight Divines upon you.
tidings.
Yeah? Hmm? Sorry, I was lost in thought. I'm planning my wedding, you see. So many details to work out. The Emperor. Nonsense. The man's given me nothing. He can't even be bothered to attend my wedding. Good business for the East Empire Company means all the more gold for the Empire. Ah, yes. If she wants to pay the 2,000 gold tariff, then we'll be all set. I suppose I could make an exception. I do like her spiced wine. Fine. Tell Yvette's son her shipment will be brought up to Solitude shortly.
I don't have time for anyone too lazy or cowardly to make their own way in this world. Good evening.
You help me. You help people, right? That's what you do. My master has abandoned me. Abandoned his people. And nothing I say can change his mind. Now he refuses to even see me. He says I interrupt his vacation. It's been so many years. Won't you please help? Last I saw him, he was visiting a friend in the Blue Palace. But no one as mundane as a Jarl. No, no. Such people are below him. No, he went into the forbidden wing of the palace to speak with an old friend. Said it had been ages since they had last had tea. Oh, and you'll need the hip bone. It's very important. No entering Pelagius's wing without that. Without his guidance, our homeland is falling apart. North wages war against South. The holy flame flickers and dies. We need his return. Oh, but I'm sure he'll repay you when he comes to his senses. His favor is a powerful, powerful thing, and so very worth any inconveniences. He is a great man, but one rarely praised. He rules twin empires that span the length and breadth of our minds. All know him, but few can name him. But he has forbidden me from saying his name. He says it distracts him, and woe to those who draw his ire. But you will know him when you see him. He's the one who made me like this. He stays in the Pelagius wing of the Blue Palace. The doors are locked, and only Falk Firebeard can grant entry. But I hear the maids, Una and Erdi, know how to enter it for cleaning. Surely they could help for such an important matter. Uh-huh.
Wait, were you saying something? I don't hear so good. Huh? What? Who are you? Oh, you come to steal my dragon breath mead? Well, too bad. Some fellow already did that. Oh, real clumsy drunk. Bald as a chicken egg, and a face with just as much expression. A brown egg, though. Red guard, with white whiskers, and beggar clothes as dirty as the wrong end of a hooker. Drank it all, he did. You see that thief? You tell him he's a bad sneak, and his breath smells like a troll scratch. Also, mead. It does? Oh dear. I better do something about that then. Chewing on dragon's tongue usually does the trick. At least that's what my personal alchemist used to tell me. Was the fire that burned up the stink. But I had to get rid of him so I could buy more mead. I didn't get wealthy by wasting my fortune on luxuries. Well, what? Don't just start a sentence and stop it halfway, leaving me in suspense. What are we talking about? See? You can't grow a conversation out of half a thought. Like buying one of the manors and forgetting to furnish it. Might as well live on the street, especially with the prices those things are going for. How much is Crouch by Manor? 6, 7 gold pieces? It'd be a bit foolish to squander my fortune on something I don't need. Well, I got 3 bottles of liquor on me, and about 40 or so gold pieces. Enough to buy the Blue Palace, I reckon, and the Imperial Army. I'd probably get them to throw a few of those elves in there too, just to sweeten the deal. Not that I do it. You can't drink an elf. Yes, perhaps, but you have to remember, the palace comes with its own cook, and probably a wine cellar or something. It's like buying a cow. You aren't buying it for the leather, the milk, or the meat. And you certainly aren't buying it for their fleas. In fact, what do you buy cows for? Beats me, which is why I would never buy the Blue Palace. Oh, by the divines, no. I come from a little town known as Rorikstead. It's a fine hamlet, but I know that Xanathar had bigger things planned for me. Through his wisdom, I was guided here to solitude, and true to his word, it turned out to be a great place to make an honest living. Every day I walk out to the market and collect seed money for my business venture. At first, I wasn't even doing that. I just came out to get a little sun, look at the competing businesses, and start milling the grain in my head. I think people saw I was making good bread out of that grain, as the passers-by started handing me their coins. Xanathar's blessing, no doubt. As far as I'm concerned, we're practically partners in this thing. Still waiting for that idea, though. Need some more drink to loosen up all the wax in my head. Too bad for my investors. Until the idea comes, it's all just a lot of sunk costs. Ah, by Xanathar, you're right. Must have already sold the business. Only way to explain all these profits. That's the problem with this infernal brain of mine. Always stumbling over memories like this. Should have realized I was already retired. Easy. Spiced wine. Normally I wouldn't touch that stuff, but that Yvette sounds like some sort of wine wizard or something. I keep telling her she should train as a mead maiden instead, or an ale archer, tap into her full potential. Wait, you can do that? Is it cheap? I remember I tried to grow my own cabbages once. Didn't turn out too well. Landed a bunch of seeds over in that cemetery by the Hall of the Dead. Figured the corpses would be good for the soil. Nothing came out except more nightshade. Then I ate those to see if maybe they were like them purple cabbages. But nope, just plain old nightshade. Good thing too, 'cause I hate cabbages. Don't know why I was growing them to begin with. I agree. Damn city ought to be ashamed of itself. Beer will get you just as drunk as any wine for half the price. But I guess Yvette's under pressure to support that white she lives with. And marking up wine bottles is like some sort of tradition around here. Poor girl needs to leave the city. Train with graybeards or something. Broaden her horizons. Poor girl needs to leave the city. Train. It's sort of like a sword stinger. You heard of those, right? Well, you probably heard it wrong, so I'll tell you anyway. The Anshe. They could channel their own spirit into a weapon. Called it the way of the spirit sword. In the old tongue, it was known as Jahasacharu. Say that 5 times fast. In any case, I figured you were an ale saint instead of a short one. You could channel your spirit into a bottle. And you got all sorts of different classes. You got the mead monks, and wine wizards, beer berserkers, and of course, ale archers. Huh? What? Yeah, that's a good question. Sure, I like spiced wine, but for the most part, I'm a simple man with simpler tastes. Mostly because the fancy drinks are too expensive. But if I've gold for blackberry mead, where's Zenithar? What do they feed their bees? Diamonds? At least Yvette's prices are somewhat reasonable. For wine, anyway. Maybe not beer. Wait, what were we talking about again? Can't recall. You know what helps with memory? Some matzi. Drink they have in Morrowind. Made from salt rice. Really invigorates. Some like to brew it with a touch of cornberry, like it's some sort of brandy. But I like it cold and raw. It's my favorite drink. Until next time.
Hello there.